Hello there guys, Feng here, and welcome to Banished. Okay, so Banished is a town simulator made by Shining Rock Software. I think it's done by one person, which is really cool. Actually, I bought this as soon as it came out, and this is probably one of the only other games where I've spent literally an entire day playing. Yeah, literally an entire day. The only other two games that I've ever done that with is Cataclysm DDA and Tropical 4. Now, it's a bit of a weird one, this, because it's focused purely on survival. There's no combat elements in it or anything like that. It's literally just survival. And it gives off a really false aura of it being really zen-y and, you know, peaceful. But the game is not at all peaceful. It likes to bite you in the arse. It's pretty brutal. If you fuck up, you know about it. That's pretty much it. Okay then. So before we actually crack on, let's have a look at the options menu. Okay then. So as you can see, there's quite a few toggles here. Now I've actually toggled off show weather effects. The weather effects in this game are absolutely superb, but they're very obscuring, especially the snow weather effect, which is really unfortunate. It's such a shame that you can't change the opacity like on a slider. But other than that, I've had to take it off. So yeah. There's also an auto save timer, which I've stuck on 10 minutes. We've also got the status icon opacity, which we've got 100, and you can actually scale the UI interface as well, which is really cool. I'm going to keep it as it is at the moment, and we'll see how that goes. If it's too difficult to read or whatever, then I can always turn it up at later dates. That's fine. Okay, graphic options. You've got quite a few of them. You can change from DirectX 11 to DirectX 9 as well, which is really cool. So to work on some of the more older machines. Resolutions, of course, you can change that. There's quite a lot of that. VSync, full screen, anti-aliasing, texture filtering, etc. There's a lot of choice there. Audio also has a lot of choice. The music is not bad. Can get a bit repetitive. It is nice, but you know, as always, I've had to turn the music down. I don't want this to get flagged for copyright. So yes, no more music for Feng. And also you can actually remap all your keys as well, which is really nice. Okay then, so that's the options menu. Let's actually crack onto the game then, shall we? Okay, so the game actually randomly generates a map depending on the map seed. So what we'll do is we'll just randomize that. What should we call the town? Fengsville. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, there's two terrain types. There's valleys and mountains. Valleys is what you would expect. Pretty flat land, only a few mountainous areas. Mountains is the opposite. It mainly consists of mountains and there's a few flat areas. Valleys is the easier of the two. We will pick valleys. You've got your terrain size here. I'm going to keep this small. Climate, we're going to stick with harsh as well. It's normally unfair, but harsh is a lot more fun. Disasters, yes, that's going to be on, and we're going to actually start on hard. There are 3 different starting conditions. Easy gives you 6 families, a large amount of clothing, food, firewood, building material and tools, and also homes and storage is already built, as well as the fact that you've got seeds for fields and orchids, and you've also got some livestock. Easy is pretty easy. Medium is kind of the same, except you don't have the livestock and you don't have the houses, and you also only have 5 families. Hard is as hard as you can probably get. 4 families, only a very small amount of stuff, and absolutely no seeds at all for farming or livestock or anything like that. It's probably best to actually try and play it on hard, because there can be times where, especially if you're new to the game, if you try and play an easy and you try and build, you've got access to all these farms and orchids, you try building them first. What will happen is farms and orchids take time to grow, and I mean it does take a few years for them to actually grow, especially orchids. Orchards, whatever. And people can actually starve if you're solely relying on that. So we're going to crack on hard and let's go. Okie dokie then. Doesn't take very long to load up at all, especially being a small map and all that. Negotiating with that, placing coal layer, trading goods with natives. Okie dokie, let's pause. Welcome to Banished. Looks peaceful, doesn't it? Okie dokie then. So as you can see, we have all our town folk, our civilians here. Cool. Our labourers, as I like to call them. We have a cart which holds a few inventory stuff like potatoes and coats and all that good bollocks. Okay, so we've actually started in a decent location here. So the first thing we want to focus on is probably getting some way of getting food, some way of getting warmth before winter comes, and that's the main focus of the first year. So the first thing we want to do is we actually want some information here. The game doesn't actually give you this by default, you've got to actually get this yourself. So if you go to tools and reports, there are a few different ones, as you can see here. So here we go. We've got 5 different ones here. We've got resource limits, we have professions, we have a mini-map, and we have an event log. And we also have the main overview of the town, which is really cool. Now, the ones we will be interested in for this is the event log, which will be going down there, the actual town interface, and the profession interface. We don't really need the resource limits, we can do that via the resource buildings. And the map isn't that important until later on in the game, the mini-map, so we're going to get rid of that. There we go, so let's talk about some of the there we go. Let's talk about some of the things on this interface then. Okay, so as you can see, this is your inventory. This is all your stock that you've got at the moment between all your warehouses and stockpiles and whatnot. So as you can see, we've got plenty of food, plenty of firewood, some tools and clothes, but we have no resources at all. Now there's 3 main resources in the game. There's wood, stone and iron. So wood is needed for basically everything. Stone is needed for a few buildings, and also iron is needed for a few buildings. But iron is also used for stuff like making tools. There's also coal, which we probably won't be getting to a bit later on in the game. Medicines, which is herbs, which we will be getting probably early on, so we can keep our 10 people healthy. And you can get alcohol as well, which is really cool. Again, that won't be till later on, once we actually have seeds to get orchards. So firstly, let's see what we should do here. So we should probably think about making a gatherer's hut. So we go to the food producing ones. There's 6 kind of food productions. We've got crop fields, orchards, pastures, fishing docks, hunting cabins, and a gatherer's hut. Gatherer's hut is your best friend early game. Now, gatherer's huts require a lot of forestry areas, fully grown trees, because they actually gather stuff like berries, mushrooms and onions and stuff like that, and they needed quite a bit of forestry so that the stuff can actually grow. So we're going to stick this around here, so I think around there should be okay. Yeah, we'll put it there. There we go. Okay, so as you'll see, if there's any resources in the way, they will your labourers will actually remove the resources that's in the way, and then they'll start building. Now we do need builders, so I'm going to just go do that, and then we've got 3 builders assigned to this, so we'll let that run. There's also a speed, so as you can see, the first speed is very slow, and I mean very slow. But you can speed up to 10 times, which is a lot faster. Now, what we need to do, which I've actually forgot to do, is we need some resources before we can actually build buildings. So we got to remove resources. Now this will remove all the resources in the area that I designate. Now we don't want to do that just yet there, because that's where the gatherer's hut's going to be, and we need the forestry. So I'm going to start over here like so, and there we go. I'm going to start getting rid of this and getting rid of that, and that. There we go, and even this bit as well. Now we're going to need a storage pile for this, so a stockpile, sorry, not storage pile. So where should we put this? I can put this by the, yeah, I can put it by here, that's fine. So let's do a 5x5 stockpile. There we go. So the labourers will start working on cutting down trees and gathering the iron and stone that's on the floor. And the builders will start concentrating on making the gatherers. There we go. Now what you can actually do as well is you can actually kind of pre-plan your layout, which is really cool in this game, because as you can clearly see, you can build absolutely everything from the start. Anything you can pretty much build from the start. There's no blueprints, there's no technology tree, there's nothing like that. You can build absolutely anything. The great thing about it is that you can actually pause buildings as well, and because obviously putting buildings down doesn't actually cost resources to begin with, it means you can effectively plan out your whole town before even the first season if you really wanted to. But obviously we're not going to be doing that because that's going to be boring for you. So yeah, we're just going to do a few bits, a few of the necessities. So we've got the gatherers up there. Now what we're going to be needing after that is the hunting cabin. Hunting cabin can go on open fields as well as in forests. But the reason why we're going to put this one in the forest is because we are going to have a forester's lodge, which I need to find. Where the fuck is it? Here it is. Yeah, a forester's lodge. Now what this will do, this will clear up any other loose rock and iron that's around the circle. As you can actually see the circle there. And what it will do is we'll plant trees, and then once they're fully grown, they'll be cut down. Really useful. But it's the only way you can actually get reusable wood, and it's very important indeed to get as much wood as you can. And if you just go around chopping stuff down without replanting it, it's gonna go very quickly. So yeah, so we've got those down now, and now I can't see them because I'm blind. So there we go. We've got Forester's Lodge there, the gatherers up there. So I need to pause the hunting cabin. Pause the Forester Lodge. Now what we might want to think about doing now is making a few houses. We need to make houses before winter, otherwise our town people will freeze to death, and that is something that is a huge possibility. So what we need to think about as well is people will try to live where they work, and so what we're going to do is we're going to put a few houses here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and maybe we can stick a 4th one on this side, maybe, can we? Yes, yes we can. I don't know if you noticed as well that triangle on the blueprint. That's where you can put a road. So it's really useful. It's like a blueprint, so you can automatically put down a road if you really wanted to. So as you saw there, I managed to put the wooden house on the opposite side, like that, because it actually showed the triangles. So that was really useful if you want to plan roads, but you don't really want to put a road down because roads can't be paused, unfortunately. So that's one thing to bear in mind. So we're going to just pause these like so. Where's the other one gone? Ah, there you are, hiding there. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to carry on and let that run for a little bit. So we're going to start with the building the gatherer's hut, as you can see there. Now gatherer's huts are absolutely great because not only do they provide a very decent amount of food, especially early on. Oh, I have reserved for logs is low. Okie dokie. Not only do they provide a lot of food early on, but they provide a variety, and you need a certain amount of variety so that your team people are actually healthy. The gatherer's hut basically does both of those, gives you food and gives you variety. Really useful early on. The only downside to them is that they do require the forested areas. If you try and put a gatherer's hut out in the open, like say here, and there's no forester's lodge around, then they're going to be less effective. And there we go. So there's no one in here at the moment, so we need to assign. You can either assign in the building itself like this, or you can assign via the professions menu. So we're going to assign, we'll probably assign 4, and I'll get rid of 1 builder, so there's at least 3 more labourers going around chopping stuff down. So there we go. Also, what you might want to know as well is if you've got people assigned, if you've got people assigned to professions and they're not doing anything. So for example, there's no builders at the moment because there's nothing needed to be built. Yeah, those 2 builders will automatically become labourers until you actually start giving them a build order. Really cool that they actually do that. So yeah, and if you probably noticed, we've actually got someone who's becoming an adult and he's working as a labourer. So here is our population. We have 9 adults, no students, and 6 children. Now we did only have 8 adults, but now we have 9 because one of the children actually grew up to of adult age. So that's pretty cool. Students won't come until a little bit later on once we build a school. But the lowdown is if children go straight into adulthood, this is going to sound really weird, but if they go straight into adulthood, then they're not as effective as children that go into students that then go as adults. It's really weird, really weird. Obviously, the great upside about people that have been taught in schools is that they will be, I think, twice as effective, and they will also have a longer lifespan from what I've been gathering. But the problem is that they don't actually go into adulthood until a little bit later on in their lives, which is really weird. I know, it's really weird, but that's the way the game works, so that's fine. I'm not going to argue. So yeah, we might want to increase that food limit actually. Don't really need to at the moment. I mean, you can do it like that, or you could just type it in. So I'm just going to type in 10,000. Don't really need that much at the moment, but I'm just going to do it anyway. So now we need to start thinking about building the houses. As you can see, it's already late spring and we don't have any houses built yet. So let's crack on with that. So 1 wood house, 2 wood house. Yeah, let's excuse my voice there as well. I mean, I've probably noticed I've got a bit of cold and my head's a bit flicky at the moment. So yeah, that's a just bear in mind. Here we go. Here we go, another labour. So the next thing we're actually going to need, which I actually forgot to do, is a woodcutter. Now we're desperately going to need a woodcutter. Without firewood, they're going to freeze to death during the winter. So we need we desperately need a woodcutter. Okie dokie. So let's stick you around there. Now you could always stick them right next to the lodger if you want, because then obviously the forest lodge, because then obviously you'll be right near the resource. However, we don't have a stockpile near there, so I'm just going to stick him here for the time being, I think. Don't know if I want to keep that stockpile there. Not stockpile, sorry, the storage cart. Now, I've noticed a lot of people try and break this down. However, even though it doesn't give you a lot of space, for the amount of... It's only like 2 squares long. I mean, it's nothing. I'd rather keep it for the storage. You know what I mean? So yeah, it actually uses less space. Now, we want to make sure the woodcut is built first, so that they can start making logs. So we need to set the priority to this. So if you go to the increase priority and drag along there, there we go. So now all the builders will focus on this. Now we actually have room for 11 builders at this point. So I'm actually going to knock that to 4. We'll see how that goes. Oh, and we should also probably think about maybe making a herbalist. Herbalists require the same kind of thing. They require old trees. So I'll put them right next to a forester's lodge is also a good idea. But the thing is, I don't really want anything else here at the moment, because if I have too many buildings along here where the forester's lodge is, then it's going to lower the effectiveness of all my gathering nuts and my herbalists. So yeah, need to be careful of that. And I don't want that being built yet either. Just concentrate on this first. There we go. So now we've got our woodcutter. So I'm going to assign a labour to the woodcutter. There we go. Now he'll go and gather the wood, and he'll chop that into firewood. Now we are going to need a storage barn soon, because our storage cart will get full. At the moment, everything's been put in there, like the food and the firewood and stuff. Obviously resources go into the stockpile, so that's not a problem. So we might want to think about making a storage barn. Not just yet, we probably won't need to do it until next year, but we could definitely do with making one soon. I'm just wondering if we should make it here, or if we should make it right next to the resource. Hang on, let's see if we can find the road again. I've lost the road. There's the road. Right. There we go. So yeah, this is probably the last building I'll actually put on here. So there we go. Now obviously I need to pause that one as well. There we go. So yeah, late summer. Now it's going to start getting autumn. We might... Oh, this is actually looking a bit dire because we haven't got no stone, and we need... I think we do need a bit of stone for the houses. Am I right? Yeah. Or is that iron? Stone, isn't it? Yeah, it's stone. Right, so we need to quickly get some stone supplies. There's a lot of stone here. So yeah, you need to focus on getting that, please. As you can see, we've got no stone, so nothing's being built. But yeah, once they start getting the stone up and sending it to the stockpile, then they'll start building the houses. So we've got one house built there. Okie dokie. So, welcome to the houses. Houses are really cool. So as you can see, they tend to hold a family. A family can have, yeah, pretty much anything up from 1 person to 8, something like that. You've got to be careful about how many wooden houses you build, especially early in the game. If you try and expand too much, people will be popping children like there's no tomorrow, and if you can't meet the demand for both the warmth and the hunger, then yeah, you can actually end up killing yourself by over expanding too quickly. But you can also do the opposite. If you don't expand at all, what you'll find is that your adults will die off, and then you'll only have a few children to cover the adults, and then they'll just die with only having like a few children of their own, and then they'll die. It's pretty lethal like that. So each house will, to get warmth, they need firewood, and obviously they'll go and get food, and they'll have their own supply of it. So people who live in here will probably now go and get their own wood. So there we go, we've got some firewood and their own food, so they take from the global stockpiles. So there we go. So we should have enough food to keep all our 4 families healthy. This one's actually got 5. Jesus Christ, it's got 5 members in that one. So yeah, that needs a few more firewood and whatnot. Reserve of food is low. Yeah, that's fine. We should be okay. And there we go. So 2 in this one. They're 10 and 12. And there we go, so we've got some firewood, we've got some potatoes. Okie dokie. And this one also has some firewood and potatoes and berries. So we've got plenty of food and firewood for the time being, so that's really good. Now obviously they'll still continue working during the winter. So, you know, that's not a problem. But if they're not wearing any clothing, then there is a possibility that they can actually freeze up. And oh, hang on, why do we have 2 homeless? That's not good. That's not good. We may have to make another house pronto. I'm gonna make a house right here so that the woodcutter's got somewhere to live, very relatively close by. So yeah, we're gonna do that. So I'm gonna put it there. There we go. This needs to be, yeah, you need to focus solely on that one now. I'm just going to knock back the amount of builders a little bit as well. There we go. There we go, so that's being built. That should be done before winter, hopefully. And we've got another child. So yeah, as you can see, we're expanding pretty quickly at this point. Good. Good, good, good. And we should have enough food to cover winter. And as you can see, our overall health is actually going down as well. Our happiness is actually the same still, but our overall health is going down. So need to be careful about that, because people can actually die of things like plague in this game. So yeah, we've run out of. Oh, we've got to the fuel limit apparently. Well, we did. I'm gonna knock the fuel limit to 3, I think. There we go. And more children are being born. Children in this game are parasites. They really are. I'm pretty sure they eat more than adults. They really do. We're actually low on food at this point, and that's a little bit worrying. So I'm going to start building the hunting cabin. So once that's built, then we'll assign the hunters to there. We've got 6 labourers. So that's fine. We've got plenty of people to work it. Now, the Hunter's Lodge is really cool. It gives a decent amount of venison, depending on the area. So as you can see, we actually, it's a fair decent area for hunting deer. And the reserve of logs is low. Oh boy. We do need to get that forestry soon, so as we can start replanting trees. Let's have a quick look at how our gatherers produced actually. So this season we've actually got a lot of stuff. We've got 312 roots, 448 mushrooms. Bloody hell, that's a lot. Very strong start in food gathering building, really is. Okay, so we'll probably assign 2 hunters. Obviously you'll get venison from this, and you'll also get leather. Not leather, sorry. Yeah, it is leather, isn't it? Yeah, leather. You'll get leather, so you can actually make clothes, which we actually have none of at the moment. But we're also running out of tools, which is a bit worrying. Once people start breaking tools, they become half as effective as doing their jobs, which that on its own can actually cause people to either starve or die of bloody frostbite or whatever, because they haven't got the proper tools to be able to do it efficiently enough. Okay, so now we're actually now in early spring, which is good, and we are going to focus now on getting our forestry lodge up, so that we can actually start growing more trees and getting all these loose bits of stone and iron. Oh, we do need more trees though. We need more wood. So let's get removing, like so. I'll probably remove from this end over here. There we go. I could still do with the stone and iron, so I'll just remove all of it rather than just the trees itself. And we've got plenty of labourers for that, so that's fine. Okay. There's our cart. Our cart's still, no, that's still okay. We're not really in a rush to make a storage on yet. Our health's going down still, which is not very great. It might be because of the variety though. We've only got 4 varieties of food at the moment. So yeah, but we should start getting venison soon. Here we go, we've got some venison and some leather. So yeah. But once we get the Forester's Lodge up, we then need to focus on getting a blacksmith up, so as it can start making tools, because as you can see, tools are going down. Okay, so we're going to assign probably just 1 forester for the time being. Just 1 forester will do. And now we need to focus on tools. So we need the blacksmith, who will probably be down here too. Let's try and keep to the road. There we go. I'll do. There we go. We should probably actually think about building roads as well. So there's 2 kinds of roads. There's dirt roads and there's stone roads. Stone roads are very fast, but they do require stone. It don't look like a lot when it says 1 times per unit of length, but stone you can very easily run out of during the early game, especially if you don't have a quarry. It's very easy to run out of stone because stone is used for a hell of a lot of buildings. Whereas obviously we will have an unlimited supply of wood soon, obviously with the Forester Lodge, but the only way to do that with the stone is to actually build a quarry, and the quarries actually run out after a time of being used as well, so that's something you need to bear in mind. Okie dokie. So we have our blacksmith. Well, we're gonna have our blacksmith in the bit. We've got enough logs soon. We will have enough logs soon. You've got to bear in mind as well, the logs aren't just being used for building, they're actually being used to make firewood as well, which is the reason why we've got that. Now this simply means that they've actually got to their fuel limit. Now obviously because I've only picked 300, it means that they are now going to be labourers for a bit and carry on doing labour and stuff until of course the firewood goes back down, and then they'll continue chopping up some wood. Now the food's low again apparently, so I might stick another labourer into the hunter. There we go. But as you can see, there's a massive difference with the gatherer's hut and the hunting cabin. So as you can see, you're only getting a little bit of venison here. Well, we haven't actually done a full season with this particular hunting cabin yet, But we'll soon show it a bit once the season's gone. It's fairly warm still, even though it's harsh. Apparently it's snowing. Obviously we can't see it because I've turned the weather effects off, and now it's back sunny. So yeah, that's the herbalist. We don't need that just yet. Although we should probably think about getting it soon. Definitely. Storage barn we don't need just yet either. Although we might soon as well. We'll see. The builder is not building. Why is the builder not building? Ah, there we go. He's now starting to build. Oh, we'll only cough for one and waiting for this. Ah, there we go. Right. So as you can see, as you can probably tell before we cut here, the game can be pretty slow going, and you know what? That's actually kind of a good thing, especially later on when you've got a lot of stuff going on. But at the moment, obviously, it's a bit slow paced. What I might end up doing is I might end up pausing now and again and just wait for something to actually happen, and then I'll cut back to it. But for now, this will be the end of this one. So, guys, I'll see you next time.